So, I thought I was done with this series, mainly because I couldn't think of any good ideas until now. But sometimes the thoughts you have in the shower aren't just a load of nonsense. So join me on the journey to discover the player behind the Raider, Dragonflight Edition. Okay, let's be real. We've probably all done this at least a couple of times. And that's okay, we all make mistakes. But the guy I'm talking about is the guy that brings quest gear to heroics. Yeah. I'm sure you've all run into these dudes at least a few times before. They raid lead in pre-mades because they know they won't be accepted by any other groups, or with a guild because their item level is like 50 below everyone else's. And as long as the group does well, they go pretty unnoticed. But as soon as that first wipe comes, everybody's straight to the DPS meters. And before you can say Thunder Fury, Blessed Blade of the Windseeker, the group's been on Raider.io, flamed them and left the group. Then 13 new players join and it's rinse and repeat. Seriously, when you join a group, just always check the leader's item level. If you're like me, you've probably been the lead for a few pre-mades. Not like the last guy. Everything could be going perfectly fine, everyone's having a good time, but they still feel the need to whisper and tell you that X, Y, and Z aren't doing enough damage, that some guy doesn't know the mechanic of the boss 3 bosses ago, and that you should give them the lead because they know everything. No! Fuck off! Seriously, don't be this guy. Don't fix it if it ain't broke. Also, if I'm the leader, I'm gonna kick you. Now don't get me wrong, this doesn't apply to all TTVs. In fact, a lot of the time TTVs are beneficial to the game, and beneficial to me, by giving some pretty hilarious reactions to my videos. Emo tween, playing as a Death Knight, like a skeleton in a...
No, shut up, cause I did! No! That is weirdly accurate!
Seriously, more people react. This was really funny.
Okay, that's just factually correct. I don't want it to be.
Unlike her, unfortunately, you can have some run-ins with the streamers that really put a bad taste in your mouth. These are the streamers that raid in pre-mades to promote themselves at any given opportunity. Waiting for players? Bam, raid warning. Using flasks? Bam, raid warning. Trying to focus intensely because the mechanic is so incredibly difficult that if you do one wrong move, then the entire raid will wipe? Bam, raid warning. How do they not see that annoying people won't get a follow? What you really want to do is tell them that if they like and subscribe, they could earn themselves some fluorescent fluid. I mean, come on, it mends materials and heals wounds. People's first complaint about the big TTV streamers is that they get their followers to give them items and drops. I don't have that gripe, because I have the self-awareness to say that I'd do the same thing. And you probably would too. And hey, not all the big streamers even do that anyway. My only problem is that they normally closely resemble that of the low item level raid lead, except they actually get away with it. Something we all wish that we could do. There is one raider that's so mysterious that we don't even know if they are man or machine. They never speak a word in Discord servers or in the in-game chat. They make no mistakes. They do pretty amazing DPS and they know all the mechanics. The only documented signs of emotions are only rumours. They say that supposedly, if they really like you, they might say thank in chat, then leave the group and vanish into the night, never to be seen again. They creep me out just thinking about it now. I mean seriously, how can someone go through an entire raid instance without flaming someone? I'm pretty sure it's impossible. This player is the definition of a double-edged sword. They have an ult on every class, max leveled and geared so they can always go into the raid as the most overtuned spec. Like the Silent Soldier, they have knowledge and DPS, but unlike them, they're a bit more vocal. They can often be identified by their frequent spam of pot check in the chat, their constant and unrelenting insistence that everyone who joins must have ahead of the curve as soon as the second week of the new raid begins, and constantly linking the DPS meters, even if everything's going perfectly fine. They just want to remind you how well they're doing, and how badly the person at the bottom of them's doing. Overall, they're kind of just dicks, but they get the job done. But when they really get annoying, you can always just do this. There is only one thing more criminal than not having Bang On reverse slot order turned on, and that's clicking buttons. I mean, like you can click stuff like your extra mounts, that's normal. But when you're clicking your main rotational abilities instead of using keybinds, you're a psychopath. And you know, it's probably why your DPS is so low, your wife left you, and you have no friends. And this is coming from someone that basically plays with Overwatch keybinds. They say some people are born of rage and fire. Well, that's an understatement for these guys. You better hope that you don't make a single mistake, because if you do, you're gonna find out exactly why you're a no-life loser with no friends or bitches. In real life, however, these are normally attributes that affect them. I know, right? That's such shocking news. It really doesn't take a lot to ruffle their feathers. But once you stop seeing them as annoyances, they soon become prime targets, as it's really easy to make them angry. And it's kinda funny. All of a sudden, they become way more fun to have around. Wait a sec, the social contract exists. Did I just self-report? This player chooses to not use add-ons for dumb reasons like, this game isn't meant to be played with add-ons, or people who need add-ons to tell you what to do are idiots. Then they proceed to die to the first mechanic because they don't know what's going on. I never understood why they won't just at least take the add-ons that are considered default by the community. It would really help them out. Then again, it might be like me in modded Minecraft. I mean, I can't be bothered learning the mods, so I just play vanilla. These players raid more poorly than my comment on Pro Age last video. The only thing stopping me from making this S tier is the lack of self-sustain. But hey, Warriors never had that. Now, in my defense, I don't think anybody was expecting that. Anyway, back to the Simpleton. These guys never read any boss mechanics before charging in headfirst to the next boss, and of course, they are never alive by the end of the fight. They do pretty minimal DPS and are quite often the reason for a raid wipe. When they're called out for their stupidity, you often get a very confused response indicating a severe lack in brain function. It's hard to tell whether they're just genuinely stupid, or if they're playing Among Us on the second monitor or something. This player is one of the more common types you will see. In gameplay, there is nothing special about them. They're pretty middle of the pack in terms of their contribution to the raid, but what makes them special is that they will see the idiosyncrasies and downfalls of the group, but choose to do nothing about them. Sure, they could voice their concerns and try to restore balance to their raid group, but they don't. They either simply don't care or have been slowly warped into believing over years of play that it's pointless. The players will always be the same, they'll never change. It's just pointless. Wow, that was bleak. We could probably do with a more positive one next. Thanks a lot for watching. If you thought I didn't capture you as a raider, you're wrong and in denial. Now you should click on this video to find out which specs are fun for Dragonflight.